Alright, people, this is CodeX Report number 16, Fukushima. They just had another earthquake over there this morning, or today for people in Japan. It was originally a 7.1, and they downgraded it to a 6.6. They're now having problems with the Onagawa plant, which is about 140 kilometers, I think, from where this last earthquake was. But they've been having problems since the one on the 8th. And if you watched my last report, I may have mentioned that there was a massive, two big solar flares, and that there was going to be, most likely, according to the current trend that seems to be going on, 3 to 4 days after there's a large solar flare, there seems to be upswing in the earthquakes. Now, I'm sure there's other things involved in it, but the last two times that's happened, and this time again it happened. There's so much stuff going on. You really need to just go and look for yourself. I'm never going to be able to explain everything here. Again, check out Alex Jones. Go check out Jeff Rense. Go and Alexander Higgins' blog. Phenomenal, fantastic information. He is the only place I've seen so far that is listing where they found uranium down in Southern California, in Riverside and in a couple other places. Now, granted, it's like, point, 100,000ths of a percentage, or 1 millionth of a percentage point or whatever, but it's still, it's stuff that's coming from Japan, and I mean, if you believe that or not, go and look on his page, and there's a diagram and an animation of the wind patterns, and we're getting a huge blast of fallout and whatever, the radiation from Fukushima right now, and will be for probably the next 2 days. Okay, the Fukushima reactors. If you have been following this, you probably have seen the what they call the nightmare drive into hell, or the Tetsuo Jimbo, who drove up to 1.5 kilometers from the reactors, measuring radiation with his little Geiger counter and his I think it was a little dosimeter. And it's strange when you watch it, because there's no people, which, granted, it's inside the exclusion zone or the evacuation zone, but all the animals are just running around. There's like 4 or 5 dogs. One of them's an Akita. They may all be, but I know one specifically is for sure. And then another one, they show a bulldog, and the dog is awesome. He's sitting there just like waiting for master to come back or whatever, and this dog's gonna have to. It's either gonna die from cancer and radiation poisoning, or someone's gonna end up having to shoot it, because if you go and look at the stuff from Chernobyl, you'll see what they talk about as the liquidators. And I'm gonna probably do another video just on this subject. But where are the liquidators? Where are the people that are going in and rounding up these animals, or at least checking them for radiation? And we may have the ability to wash the radiation out of their hair, but the thing is that's what had to happen in Chernobyl. Is they had to have the liquidators go and shoot every single living thing that was running around out there, because the hair, when they shed, it falls off. The hair is radioactive from the particles, and then you pick up the hair on you, and then it gives you the radiation. I mean, there's other things going on too. I mean, you don't want to leave these animals running around and let them suffer from getting these massive cancers and things. I mean, what sane humanitarian or someone who calls himself a humanitarian could possibly conscience that. You know, I understand that people don't agree with going out and killing animals, but would you rather have this animal suffer and die over the course of weeks, months, or even years, or would you rather go out and put it out of its misery because there's nothing else that you can do? Now, I'm not saying that there is nothing else that we can do, but I mean, we're worried about the reactors right now. We don't have time to worry about, decontaminating every single animal that's running around in the exclusion zone. I mean, it's logistically near impossible. the the problems that they're having with the Fukushima reactors are so bad that they they're the chicken running around with his head cut off. I mean, they know that there's a problem. They know it's going to be going on forever. I mean, literally, it's they're saying it's going to take anywhere between 50 and 100 years. And most of the people that are listening to this, most of you will probably be dead within 50 years. And that's just the way it is. So literally, from our viewpoint, it will go on forever. It will go on until we die. There's no way that they're going to be able to fix this problem in a short time span. I still think that the geodesic dome is a viable method of containing the radiation that is coming out of them, but there are way smarter people than me out there, and some of these people need to get off their asses and just start figuring out a way to do something with this. You know, I don't really know what else to say on that. Everybody in Japan, you need to seriously think about whether you can even stay. I mean, the entire country. I mean, it's horrible over there. You may not realize it because you can't smell, taste, see, or feel the radiation, but you are all being poisoned every minute that you sit over there. And I don't want to scare people and create a panic, but you have to understand that the government is not going to tell you the truth on this. They will not. If they are forced to, yes. If they are caught, yes. That's their way of saying, oh, we missed the figures, or oh, we misinterpreted. It just came out today that the radiation coming out of Fukushima is immeasurable. Immeasurable, people. I don't even have words to describe how bad that is. Seriously. I mean, think about that. Immeasurable. We could measure the amount of radiation that was dispersed at Fukushima or at Hiroshima. We could measure the amount of radiation that was given off at the Nevada test range and at the Trinity test. We have the technology to monitor the radiation that's given off at the Bikini Atoll atomic test, and that wasn't even a bomb. That was basically a giant nuclear reactor that they deliberately took supercritical and detonated. And if we have the ability to measure that, we have the ability to measure exactly what's coming out of Fukushima, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. And they're lying to us by not telling. It is called lie by omission. And if you can be convicted in court of lying by omission, then the government should be convicted of the same goddamn thing. Because they are lying to us by omission of the facts. They refuse to tell us what is really going on there. And I, for one, am goddamn pissed about it. I live in Northern California. Granted, I'm in the mountains. I'm not sitting down in LA. I'm not stuck inside of a city. But I'm still sitting out in the mountains, and there's radiation coming down in the rain. There's radioactive iodine. There's whatever. Regardless of the topic of chemtrails, and I'll do an article on that at some point here. But they literally are they're trying to kill us. That's what they're doing. It's Agenda 21. I mean, you really gotta sit back and think about this and decide: are you gonna let them use your money to kill you, to kill your family, to kill your children, your mother, your father, your brother, your sisters, your aunts, uncles, cousins, nephews, everybody? Because if they don't put a cap onto this facility, if they don't figure out some way to stop this radiation, it is going to kill millions of people. Millions and millions and millions of people. But if you understand Agenda 21, that's their plan. I mean, that's how we transition from timeline 1 to timeline 2. They kill 4 billion people. You know, and if you don't think that this is helping that agenda along, then you are bloody insane. Um, you are not living in reality. Uh, the the peripheral things that are going on, I meant to mention this before. People are complaining about how Japan is going to sell their United States Treasury bonds. Well, yeah. I mean, that's why they buy them, is to sell them. You know, um, and that gets me onto the whole topic of everything else that's been going on. Fucking George Soros decides that he wants to create a whole new monetary system for the world, and everybody's just like, okay, yeah, sounds like a good plan. No, we already have a system of global economic exchange. It's called gold and silver. Why do you think the mint is selling out of silver right now? Silver hit 41.06 when I just looked at it like an hour ago. Gold actually dropped, I think, $8, but it's still 1468. Yeah, I mean, it's just going to keep going up because they just keep printing more money. They're talking about QE3 now. You know, go on YouTube, go on my favorites on my YouTube channel here, and look at the day the dollar died. It's a video that was put out by the National Inflation Agency, and it is phenomenal. And everything that is happening in that video is happening right now. And you people need to realize that. You need to realize that if you don't have your own food, if you don't have gold, silver, or some type of real items to trade, barter, or whatever, you are going to die. You are going to starve to death. And if you don't have the ability to defend yourself, the same thing. Because somebody else who doesn't have their own food is going to come and try to take yours. And if you don't want to think about that, then why are you watching this video? Honestly, because if you watched any of my other videos, you understand my point of view and where I'm coming from with this. Going to be doing another martial arts video soon here. I'm trying to lay that out, but hopefully that'll be up the next couple of days. I'm still working on my timelines video. If you're interested in anything on that topic, go and check out Cliff High, Half-Ass Human. Go check out Time Wave Zero. Go and look at Project Camelot, the Dan Burrish videos, and Bill Deagle has some really good ones. There's so many things out there that deal with some of these topics that you really need to understand. And in a 12 or 15 minute video, there's no way I can cover even any of it, really. I mean, I'm just throwing stuff out there for you guys so that you have topics to fucking research on. So hopefully I help you out. If you have any questions, please put a comment on my in my comment section or leave me a message. To everybody who's been watching my videos, thank you. I've been getting a lot of views in Europe. That's awesome. Australia, not so much. South America, Central, or the Middle East. But, that's the way it goes. Thank you to everyone for watching, and just, really think about your situation and think about where you are and where the world is at, and whether you are going to be able to live where you are. And if not, get out. That's what it's coming to. And the system is failing. The system is failing, and that's where we're at. And I think that's all I got to say for this one. So stay tuned. I'll probably have another one up a little bit later. And God bless everyone, and peace and strength to everybody in Fukushima and Fukushima 50. Truly, you guys are heroes. Just keep up the good work.